is a home run even on the table tonight? Is there a scenario where the Pistons pick at 5 and hit a, quote, home run?
To me, there isn't.
Okay.
Unless, I guess here's where the home run is. It's not in a pick. It's trading the pick. If you're able to trade the pick along with Bojan Bogdanovic, and you trade that pick to somebody and you get somebody who steps right in right away and is a starter in this lineup, it makes all the sense in the world that has to happen. Then you've hit a home run. I don't think they can do it. And I think if you were to, try to entice New Orleans, for instance, and you throw Bogdanovic, there was that trade proposed by somebody, I don't know if it was Mark Stein or not, from ESPN, and they included pick at 5, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Isaiah Stewart. I think it was a 3-team trade, and the Pistons end up with Zion. That's a home run. Now, of course, there's risks with Zion. Everybody's talking with him ad nauseum because he can't stay healthy. It's like, Carlos Correa or Brian Buxton. Can't stay healthy. But if he could, he's the perfect fit for the Pistons. He's exactly what they need. Somebody who can, be that power forward, score 25 points a game. He would fit in perfectly with this team, the healthy version of him.
The world where I'm playing NBA 2K and I turn injuries off and Zion's setting big screens and rolling to the hoop and exploding with all these dunks, that's great. In the world where I get a switch and no one can match up with him one-on-one in the low block, it's great.
But that's not the real
He's been injured every year of his adult life.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a question of if he would get hurt in Detroit. It would be how many games is he going to miss on any team that eventually trades for him.
But apparently that contract has those little qualifiers in there that if he gets hurt, then, okay, it's not going to cost you, which is massive.
It's still going to cost me the number 5 pick in Bogdanovic.
Yeah, but I'm taking a chance.
But that's what this brings me back to. The number 5 pick has been devalued by Pistons fans. And I get it. The night of the lottery, everybody was ticked. That should have been 1, or at the very least 2 or 3, but not 5. As far as you've ever fallen in the lottery, as far as they could fall, as far as anybody has ever fallen, everybody immediately said this pick is radioactive. I want nothing to do with it. But since 2006, LeBron and Durant are the only picks, or the only Finals MVPs picked inside the top 3. Let me do that again. The Finals MVP since 2006 is a bunch of guys picked 5th or later, with the exception being LeBron and Durant. There will be a player drafted outside of the top 3 that turns into an all-star. To me, the home run is Whitmore, and I think there's a chance that Weaver, decoding what he said, is going to pull off a scenario where he trades back 2 spots, or some people think Whitmore could fall as low as 9. I think he gets Whitmore, and I think he moves back. But I think that's his guy, and I think that's the home run in this draft tonight.
Well, I will say this. Out of the players that could be available to them at 5, the one that intrigues me the most, the one that I like the most, and it's probably not by a huge margin, but the one that I like the most is Cam Whitmore. Everything you said, it screams why. It's because he's an all-offense guy. Well, not all offense, but
he can do everything offensively.
But he plays defense, and he can do everything offensively except for pass. And I've made the point, too. I don't care if he passes the ball. I'm not looking for him to lead the point. I need him to finish and score. That's what the Pistons need. They need somebody who can score. They need to play defense. And he's got great size and a nice touch. So why wouldn't you want him on this team? And, okay, his low assist. Again, it's not about passing the ball to the guy who's going to score. That's how you get the assist. Does he not pass the ball at all? Is it a black hole once you send it to him that he's just going to shoot? Is he a chucker? Well, with a 24-second shot clock, and it winds down inside 10 seconds, and I feed him the basketball, I want him to work.
Go get a bucket.
Yeah.
Gator, at Villanova, they played one of the slowest paces, 327th in pace. Very slow team. So all of his counting stats are going to be a little lower. Things like points and rebounds, and his assists were laughably low. But I don't care.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me.
The Pistons feel to me like a team that can intentionally overlook a lack of playmaking in a prospect, given the fact that they have Cade and Ivy. And that's Whitmore's his only knock. I mean, maybe people wish he had longer arms, but I think he's younger, higher upside, more polished offensively, and certainly brings the effort defensively. The guy's an elite athlete who's on the board at 5. I would make the pick at 5, but I think where the real gambit is if Weaver can move back. And I think he would win over everybody if he moved back a couple spots, got his guy anyway, and picked up an extra pick along the way.
Yeah, it's risky, but some of that risk is calculated because you think the teams that are picking behind you are looking at guards more than they are at wings or just a forward position anyway. So it's calculated. But what you don't know is what other teams are going to do. You don't know if the teams that are picking in the 10 to 15 range, if they want to move up to take one of these guys. And the NBA draft is crazy. I think the over-under on trades in the first round is set at 8.5. I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah.
When you think about it. But this is what the NBA draft is, because it's only 2 rounds and people value the first 15 picks really, and that's about it. So I'm dying to see what he's going to do, because his track record, Troy Weaver's track record, is one where he is going to trade and probably trade multiple times.
Do you remember last year when he made it seem, and maybe it was legitimate, that he wanted to take Murray?
Mm-hmm.
The guy that Sacramento ended up taking. I think there's that posturing in the media where, hey, if you're Sacramento, you can't wait and move back. If you want Murray, Keegan Murray, you have to take him at 4. And the Jedi mind trick that then allows Ivy to be there at 5, I think Weaver played it masterfully. So when he comes out and says, I'm hitting a home run, most people have identified that as one of the Thompson twins. These super athletes, one's a passer, one's a scorer. They both play defense. We want a home run. I think everybody views that as a Sore Thompson. Or, I think that then creates the market for you to trade back. They've worked out as many as 5 or 6 legitimate options. I think that's what he's trying to angle for this year.
I'm curious who's being picked at 4.
Probably.
If it's a Thompson twin going Thompson. At 4, then that's interesting. Or is it going to be Cam Whitmore? Is there a lot of smoke that he's slipping in the draft
which might play into Weaver's hands. Where's that coming from, by the way? Where's the first place he worked out with that wasn't good? The Pistons.
Right.
So he might create this scenario where, well, we don't want Whitmore. We like anybody. We'll trade back. Moves back, gets his guy anyway.
So do you think – let me first say this. You think they're going to make a trade?
I think it's been discussed pretty openly.
I don't think they're picking at 5 either.
Okay.
The question is, are they trading back, or are they trading the pick and a player to get something else?